Hello all, greetings, welcome. Biad Shaka here. Bill to you, my friends. I'm the CEO of Intelligent Motivation Incorporated, a global training and consulting organization. And I'm here to talk to you today a little bit about leadership and sales training. And I got a funny story for you to share with you along the way. A few weeks back, I posted something on LinkedIn. It was a little blurb about a new course that I developed entitled Developing the Winning Attitude of a Successful Salesperson. And somebody emailed me back and said, hey, wait a minute, Bill, I thought you were a leadership trainer. What are you doing with this sales training stuff? And as I thought about that, I thought of, first of all, there's one good response to it, and then there's a funny response to it. And I'll go over the good response first. If you look at basic leadership training and basic sales training side by side, you will see a lot of common attributes. Many of the leadership qualities that come out in executives are really sales qualities that come out in good salespeople. For example, courage. Most leaders that you know in organizations are very courageous individuals. So are most salespeople, especially the ones that have to spend a lot of time cold calling or prospecting. Precise communication is a leadership skill. It's also a very, very important sales skill. Developing traits that allow you to get along very well with people. Certainly leadership, certainly sales. So there's a commonality between them. But how did I get into sales training? Especially since I have been in leadership training now for, I don't know, a quarter of a century or so. Well, it's funny how it happened. Prior to being a leadership trainer, I had two sales jobs. And the first sales job that I had, I got fired from. And I probably should have gotten fired from it for one very specific reason. I sucked. I was terrible at it. I couldn't sell anything, and the end result was I got fired. The second sales job that I had several years after that, well, I got fired from. Except for the second sales job, I got fired from overperformance. Since I started with that organization, I was always 150% of quota. I was 29 years old, just bringing in tons of cash, tons of money. And the company decided to spin our division off and sell it to a competitor. And the competitor saw how much I was earning and said, sorry, we don't need anybody at that level of sales, and we can't pay you that much, so we have to let you go. So the first sales job I got fired from for lack of performance. The second sales job I got fired from overperformance. But a couple years later then, I purchased a franchise that does leadership training. And I went to the training for it, and I learned everything I could about the franchise and about the products. I came back to northeastern Pennsylvania, which was my home base, which was my home for decades. And I set up shop, and then I sat at my desk, and I'm waiting for the phone to ring. Guess what? It didn't ring. So I called the franchise up and said, what's going on here? And they said, well, Bill, if you want to actually facilitate leadership training, you have to sell it. So I said, I thought I was out of sales. Okay, I guess I have to start selling again. And I did. And I started to sell leadership training. But I had a passion for what I was doing. So much, in fact, that it took on average between 3.5 and 4 years to become a member of the President's Club with this franchise. And President's Club was measured by sales. I did it in 9 months. And I did it just out of sheer passion and drive and love for what I was doing. So the end result was I got pretty good at selling. So I decided to put this course together. This course entitled Developing the Attitude of a Successful Salesperson. And this is actually a very deep dive into the psychology of sales. Although we cover the sales cycle, everything that we talk about in this particular process, I hold up a psychological mirror to the participants and ask them to see themselves and the behavior that's reflected. and try to unwind from behaviors that aren't necessarily good sales behaviors and rewind on behaviors that are very good for sales. That's what the course is all about. Anyway, my hope is that if you have any interest in bringing a topic like this in-house to your sales team, please feel free to give me a call. I would love to be able to service your organization with this particular sales process, any process that I have, but especially the sales process. Feel free to call me. Until we talk, my name is Bill Shaka, wishing you all the best. Bye-bye now.